So hello and welcome to Limitless You Talk podcast with me, Katie. And it's just me and you sharing a conversation today. We've got new glasses if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening to it, I have new glasses, so I feel like a brand new person because I can see. I can see a lot better than I did. I'm feeling a little bit physically run down, a little bit mentally run down myself. I know the last time we shared a very honest conversation. I shared an experience with you that was very valid, very in the moment and going through something. And when I say I'm physically run down and mentally run down, it's just a result of that. So just coming on, being honest and transparent, that as much as when I share conversations with people, and I'm still going through, I'm still that everyday individual that goes through the struggles just as much as everyone else. So, yeah, what's been happening? All talk, no action. That's what basically I'm coming on to talk about today. And the reason why I'm naming it this, I want to talk about this, it's kind of the title I came up with, it's kind of what's been going through my head is I feel that this week for me has been such a huge week. It's been such a huge week because there's been a lot of work going on, funeral industry. We're in the midst of January now where the funerals are happening of some people that passed away in December. People are passing away just now. So it's just that constant kind of cycle of what happens in life is working as a funeral director and working within the funeral industry. But that's been the easy bit for me recently. The hardest bit for me has been personally, where I've talked the talk, I have walked the walk, but I haven't felt it in the way that I normally felt it. I haven't been really, really deep in that focus that I usually dive into and helps me. The intensity's been there in my gym sessions. The intensity has been there to making sure I hit my nutrition, that I get enough sleep, that I rest, that I recover, that I do everything that I normally do. But it's felt like an outer body experience. So when I thought about all talk, no action, is basically the message within that for me was that I needed to have an honest conversation somewhere. I needed to have an honest reflection, an honest part of me to sort of stop and go, right, Katie, what is it here that is happening to you in these moments where you're living life, but you're not thriving at it, you're surviving at it. And that's basically what it has felt over the last few weeks. Couldn't put my finger on it. Still can't really put my finger on it. Thinking that it'll just pass, will just keep going. And they're physically, mentally feeling a bit run down, feeling that I want to give up things that are really good for supporting me, that are really good at helping me. Remember when we shared our last conversation, just me and you, I couldn't even leave the house. And they're all aspects of the previous behaviour, Katie, that has crept in, that's tried to take control. The voices in my head trying to say, no, just stay inside, Katie. It's safe that way. You're comfortable that way. No harm can come to you. And all of these sort of things that we go through in a moment of struggle, of challenge, or in a difficult situation. So for me, I had to have an honest conversation. That honest conversation involved me basically wanting to walk away from a part of my life that's very, very important. Now, if you're listening to this and you do sort of know me, you maybe could work it out, I don't know, but I'm not going to say specifically because that's for me and the conversation that I had with the people involved. And I basically in that conversation said, listen, right now I feel like I'm in no man's land and I've got two choices. But I'm stuck in the mud in no man's land and I can't get out. And I desperately want to get out. I'm craving to get out. I'm sweating because I really want out of it. And there is two paths. I can see the two paths really clearly. But I don't know where the paths are taking me. I don't know where they're going. I don't know which one is best. And I'm fighting to think that I am trying to find my own solution to it by giving up this, by walking away from something else, by changing absolutely everything because that is the answer. But really all I was doing was talking absolute shite. What I should have done in those moments, and I know that a lot of us can relate to this, is in these moments, we need to properly stop and go, right, why am I making silly choices? Why am I thinking that by walking away from that is the answer? Why am I stopping that? Because that is the answer. In order to take action, you have to do the talking, but you have to do the talking correctly. You have to ask yourself the questions, and in the deeper questions, you have to reflect, you have to review, you have to take apart your life almost in certain forms or certain areas or across the board and really work out your wants, your needs, your desires, your goals, your vision, your mission. what you imminently need right now in order for the action to then happen. So it's like, so you can see why I was stuck in no man's land. So all the talk for me that had been happening was, yeah, as I said, a lot of shit. Wasn't making sense. I was thinking that I was making sense because I was still doing everything that I was supposed to do. I just wasn't feeling good doing it. I was thinking it'll just be temporary and it'll go away. But actually, what I should have done, and I've only done it in the last few days, is actually take the time to sit and go through all this. And I started by, what is my mission? And I split it into 2 points. What is my mission professionally and personally? I could talk about it because I'm actioning both my personal mission and my professional mission right now. So that was actually easy. That was a bit that I knew. So I could be all talk and all the action with that. Then it was my desires. What do I desire? What do I want for my life? Well, I've got a big project that had been playing in the back of my mind last year, and I know that I've spoken about it before, but I haven't touched on it. And it's basically, I want to write a book, and I have started that process of writing a book. The book is based on giving insight from the experiences of myself and giving insight of the little tools, of the little tips. So basically a kind of coaching book, but just for us everyday individuals to know that it's okay not to be okay. You're not alone. And that there is little tools and things that you can use in your everyday life to help you. So that is my biggest project to date. So that's a desire because I want to write a book. I'm shit at English, I can't spell, but I want to write a book. Madness, but yet it makes sense. So for me, that desire is also a want and it's also a goal. It's more of a longer term goal. The desire is that it makes me feel excited. It's giving me goosebumps talking about it, and I'm really passionate about it because I have that vision, that ultimate vision for me doing it. Is I know what it's going to look like, I know what it's going to feel like, I know what it's going to be. Everything about it, I know exactly that because I can see the end goal. So all the talk and all the action that I'm doing in relation to that book right now, and it's very, very early days, is that I'm already seeing it produced. I'm already marketing it. I've already got people reading it. So you see how the all talk, all action type idea that we're working through here and kind of deciphering and like taking apart and showing what can be done with it, is that is the process of it. But everything else for me has not been like that. I've been in the gym training and it just like hasn't been. And yes, it's because I've got a kind of longer term knee injury than I wanted. But it is what it is. And being frustrated at seeing other people run, for example, and I'm not allowed to run right now. That's annoying. That's really annoying. I don't like the people that are running right now. And it's purely just because I'm jealous and I want to run. Of course, you're going to be like that. That's normal feeling. But it's getting harder and harder. So even in the gym, didn't want to be there. Doing the sessions and things, still doing it. But feeling like I was still back home in this little kind of corner in the back of my mind somewhere. So I was doing all the talking, but I wasn't doing the actions. So the conversations this week basically have led to me going through all of that. So I went through my desires, all my desires. What are my wants? My wants right now is what do I need from the people around me? What do I need from me? What are the minimum like requirements that I need of myself right now to really get me out of this kind of rut that I've found myself in? And then it comes down to my goals. What are my goals right now? Well, my goals are, because I can't run and I'm doing the skierg. So Google the skierg if you don't know what it is. And it's like, I'm rubbish at that. But see, right now, I want to be the best at that. See, if I can't run, I want to be the best. I think I'm the best runner. I am not the best runner. But that belief system is allowing me to action to be a runner, to be that vision that I have of wanting to be a runner or being in a podium somewhere in a race. And it's the same with the skierg right now. See the amount of times I have sat and watched social media videos of other people doing it, YouTube videos of other people doing it, Googling how to use the skierg properly, what not to do and what to do, just because I'm obsessed about it. Like we've spoken about before, it's all about obsessed with being better. It is. And just because I can't run now, it doesn't mean that it's over. Oh my God, it's over. It's not. It's just pivoting. It's pivoting the talk that I do. It's pivoting the actions that I should be doing. But I get so caught up in my own head, got so caught up in my own space, kept my mouth shut instead of sitting and going through it. Now, for full disclosure, I sat and went through all this reflection when I should have been doing my job. So if my dad or my mum's listening to this, apologies for spending my working day the other day doing all this. But that was a good space for me to do it. It's a comfortable space for me to do it. That space was a reminder that life is short, because I'm all surrounded by death on a daily basis because of my job. So I went through that process, and at the end, I just sort of, something clicked. And something, I mean, it's not been a big click. Well, it has been a big click because it's been a little big click that's just seemed to have given me a wee bit more clarity and clearness in the back of my mind. But it allowed me to action something that basically I'd been putting off. I'd been talking about my wants, my needs, my desires, my vision, my mission, my goals. And that's fine. But wasn't actioning them in terms of the person that I should be, the person that I worked hard in 2024 to be, the person that I am, but I've just plateaued at that. So I need to take it up a step. But I had to have all my little moments to realise that I'm still human, that I'm not invincible, that I still need to take those points to rest, reflect, review, and recover, the 4 R's, do my own framework. But I got so lost in myself that I didn't do that. That it took having a really difficult conversation of walking away from something to realising that actually walking away from that something is not what I needed. It actually would have been the wrong thing for me to do. And it's kick-started me doing all this work. And then when you get the physical symptoms of not feeling 100%, feeling tired, I've got like spots in my face, I've got a cold sore in my face, suffering with my irritable bowel, it's like, right, okay, you need to do something about yourself now. So when I hear other people saying, all talk, no action, or all talk and all the action, you kind of have to question yourself and really go, right, am I talking correctly? Am I talking shite? Or am I talking to the wall? I have been talking to the wall and I have been talking shite. Now I've pivoted because I'm beginning to talk correctly. It doesn't happen overnight. I'm beginning to talk correctly. See how the wording that I used, reframing the wording to show that I'm in my baby steps again with this. The actions. Because I sat and done hours of work, I then did the hours and hours of work at home. When I could have been watching the TV and things like that. Yeah, okay, I was watching the TV stuff, but I wasn't really. I was so focused on, right, I need to find something that's going to give me a bit of clarity. I need to find something that's going to just make me feel clearer in myself. And that's what I've done. So I've begun to think correctly, to talk correctly, which in line with that has begun the process of me actioning correctly. The 2 gym sessions at the end of this week for me have been the best gym sessions I've ever had. In a long time, I mean, because I felt really, really clear. I felt that I could enjoy it a little better. I felt as if I didn't have the weight of the world on my shoulders. And I felt as if I was just floating. And that was such a nice feeling because I hadn't felt it for a while. The second gym session was an absolute shit show of a session. I felt very heavy. I felt very tired. Mentally, it was exhausting. Mentally, I was constantly hitting the brick wall doing the session. But I did the session. Now, why are those 2 very different sessions the 2 best sessions? Because it highlighted that my feelings are temporary, that my feelings can be lifted, my talking can be pivoted, my actions can be pivoted by the work that internally and deep down I do for me. I can have all the conversations in the world, but if I don't do the work for me, I will never be able to do the actions that I want for the person that I want to become in 5 years' time. And at the same time, that shit show of a session proved that I have put in so much of getting myself in a rut, getting my head in a difficult headspace, doing the fight or flight thing, being in the flight mode rather than the fight mode, thinking that I was in the fight mode, not taking the time to go, Katie, are you okay? Not asking myself the deeper questions that I normally do ask myself just because I decided to park them for a wee while. And that showed that physically, that's had effects on me, that mentally, that's had effects on me. So why come here and talk about that to you? Why come and say to you, everyone, basically, the conversations that I have with you guys or other people that have been in the podcast and things so far, I'm saying all these things and I'm immune to it all now. The last 2 conversations me and you have shared, I've just proven that I'm not invincible. I don't want to be classed as invincible. I don't want to be classed as an inspiration. I just want to share and that we don't feel alone in what we're going through, because I did for so long. And that's why I want to help change that. So now I want you to really think. Are you the talker with no action? Are you the talker and the actioner, but they're not aligned with the correctly talking and action you should be doing? Or are you just flying right now that you are the talker and you are the actioner? I guarantee it's not the last one. I guarantee you're no talk, no action. You're all talk, no action. Or you're talking and you're actioning is just not pivoted in the correct way. What could you do for yourself then? If you're sitting there thinking, right, Katie, well, I think I might be one of them. How can I become all talk and all action? Easy. Sit down with a pen and a bit of paper. So underrated, a pen and a pad or pen and paper. So underrated. And start with, what is my mission in my life? What is my mission personally and professionally? Note it down. Doesn't need to be big, long words or essays or anything. Mine's a couple of sentences each because it just sums up both. Then it's my desires. What are your desires? Your desires then allow you to create that vision that you have for yourself. Your vision can be your 12-month vision. Your vision can be your 10-year vision, whatever it is. It's just got to align with the desires and the mission that you're on. Then, once you've got your vision, once you've got your desires, and your mission is a bit clearer, you can then go into what your wants right now, what are your needs, and what are your goals. So basically, it's a 5-step framework to be the talker and the actioner. So what this process is doing is actually you're doing all the talking in your head to yourself, and you're planning it. You're being organised about it. Because everything you have written down, you can then go and take action. If you want to be, say you are 2 stone heavier than you want to be right now. Your desire is, I want to be X amount of weight. But I want to lose 2 stone right now. Okay. So how are you going to action that? What are your desires with it? What are your wants? What are your needs? What are your goals? Because they are going to allow you to be the talker and the actioner. So you've just spoke and you've just said, I want to lose 2 stone. And how are you going to action that? Because you're going to start exercising more. You're going to start eating better. You're going to start sleeping better. You're going to start asking yourself these questions more and more. You're going to take a full accountability for what you're about to do. That's basically what it comes down to. And there's no good, bad, right or wrong thing about it. But the all talk and action thing, for me, was just a realisation that I still need to go. I should probably go through it a little bit more regular, because I do have all these bigger wants, needs, desires, and everything than I've ever used to have. It just sets you on the path, keeps your mind active, keeps your body active, keeps your life active, helps you through more difficult and challenging situations, circumstances, and really helps you through your struggles, helps you push. And that's what it is for me. I don't want anyone to be the talker and no action. I know people like that now, and they really, really get on my nerves. They get on my nerves because I know that they're worth more. They just don't believe enough to actually go and do it. And sometimes that's what it comes down to. But if you go through this process and start the talking between you, the paper and the pen, you become the talker who begins to talk correctly, to then pivot to be the actioner that actions it correctly. And that is what it's all about. It's not easy, but if you keep it as simple as you possibly can, it's going to be more manageable. If you're a busy individual, you want it to be manageable. You want it to be simple. You don't want it to be time consuming. You don't want it to cause stress or put pressure on you. And that's where you need to focus it. If you spend 5 minutes of the day, I've spoke about my 5-minute in the toilet thing, where I go and hide in the toilet for 5 minutes. I cannot tell you the golden nugget that is, especially with the stress, especially with the pressures, and just check in or ask myself the deeper questions. It means when I go outside the toilet door, I know who I need to be in those moments, because I've spoken to myself, I've done the talking, and outside of that toilet door is where I'm going to action it. So you get the point of what I'm trying to say. So I want to encourage you right now in these moments, or the next time you have a little bit of time, is to take the pen and paper and to start being your own talker. Be the talker who can pivot and begin to take the actions. Be the talker that begins to talk correctly to allow for that talking correctly in those actions. And it can make a huge difference to the journey you're on. It's helped me become a bit more clearer. It's helped me feel a bit more freer, especially talking to you. You would have seen an uptight or heard an uptight, stressful Katie speaking to you, full of anxiety. And I still am that, but I'm a lot more in control of it. And that's where it helps. So I hope by sharing this, giving you the encouragement to do the same, it can just help you on whatever journey you are on right now. And I can't wait to share our next conversation of where we go. But thank you very much again for listening or watching. It has been absolutely fantastic. If you are watching, hope you like the glasses. I'm still getting used to them, still a bit funny. And if you're listening, then please go on, like, share, follow, subscribe to the podcast on Spotify or on YouTube, or follow me on Instagram, Limitless Katie. But thank you very much for joining me in this conversation, guys. It has been great once again.